throughout social media. We'll get you out of here well before the top of the hour. We want to give you enough time to get those bets in for those primetime games. And what we do here Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time is give you a live free sports picks for the primetime games. And we get help from our Pig Dogs cappers. Let's take a look at who'll be on the show for today. We got Mitch will join us, as will Damian Sosh. Shane Mickel. In the center here is Alex Smart. Tony Brown doing well. He'll join us. Number one capper over at Pig Dogs. Once again, Big Al McMordie will be on the show, as will Rod Zawacki. Let's take a look at how they'll line up for today's show. We got Smart, McMordie, Brown, Zawacki, Mickle, Sosh, Mitch, and then I will close this one out. All right, let's get going here on the drive-thru. We're going to welcome Alex Smart to the show. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. Doing fine work there. You'll find him in the NHL, of course, right into March Madness now. So let's get bringing Alex right away. All right, Alex, how you doing today?
Doing fine. How's everything with you?
It's going great, going great. All right, you're going to be looking at this one here at 9 Eastern time. NBA, good slate of games. 10 to 11 games I counted here. So big card tonight from the NBA. We've got the Thunder to host the Mavericks. Mavericks on a back-to-back going to lay 5.5. Total sits here at 219.
Yeah, so we have an Oklahoma City team here that has revenge on board for a loss they suffered just before the All-Star break to Dallas. That was a really strange game, 87-78. In the past, when it comes to from a bettor's perspective, we've seen Oklahoma City actually do quite well here. They've cashed 23 of their last 32 opportunities with same season revenge. Obviously, different players over that period of time, but just looking at that angle, and it's something worth mentioning and something worth looking at here. Oklahoma City at home, they've done pretty well too, and they have to have some. We're going to give them respect here. We're going to take the points, and we're going to say they stay close enough, or even possibly pull off the upset versus Dallas tonight. Dallas, that's on a back-to-back.
All right, Alex Smart here going to be looking at this one going OKC's way with the points, at least against the spread, plus 5.5 against the Dallas Mavericks. One thing I've noticed with this Dallas Mavericks team, Alex, since they got that COVID break before the All-Star break, is Rick Carlisle really got on this team to play defense. What we've seen here is 5 of 6 unders. Now, of course, we saw an under come in with a really good fourth quarter defensive performance here from Dallas. OKC, the only way they're going to compete in games, they can't shoot a lick. The only way they can compete is play a defensive style game. And we've also seen the pace slow down here from Dallas because Carlisle's got them in a defensive mind frame. I guess that carried over into the All-Star break. So I'm with you here on the under here, seeing a difference here in pace, and of course Dallas a little bit more defense on their mind, right?
Yeah, well, they've gone 6 straight times under when they faced each other, and I would not be surprised if we see another under tonight. Like you said, Oklahoma City can't shoot, and Dallas has been playing better defense. So the under looks like a viable wager.
Viable wager, but then more importantly here is the Thunder keeping the game close with their defense here, plus 5.5, especially with the slow pace. The extra points are, I think, come into play here, especially with the pace slowing down in this one. So the Thunder plus 5.5. All right, Alex, let's take a look over here at Pig Dogs Premium. Good night of action. Lots of NBA. We see you're up in NHL. What you got going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
As usual, we have college basketball, we have NBA, and we have no NHL tonight. But we'll be back with some NHL action tomorrow. I saw a nice one for tomorrow, so stay tuned.
All right, guys, get on board here with Alex Smart. You see him over at Pig Dogs Premium. You get that one-day pass. Of course, the long-term pass is your best value over at Pig Dogs Premium. He's got that 3, 7, and 30-day all-sports pass. You'll get every play that Alex releases over at Pig Dogs Premium. Of course, you set the length of terms when you make the purchase over his profile page. All plays are documented. You can see his plays there on the site. All right, Alex, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you next week.
Okay, appreciate it. Take care. Have a good week.
All right, Alex Smart here on the drive-thru. Let's continue our coverage now. Let's go right over to Big Al McMordie. He's just the top of the leaderboards over at Pig Dogs Premium, doing fantastic work. Let's go bring him in right now. Al, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Let's just hope my daughter doesn't interrupt us like she did yesterday.
Oh, it's all right. We enjoyed it. It was fun. All right, let's take a look here at this one. We're going to the NBA here with the Clippers to host the Golden State Warriors, 10 Eastern time. This will be on TNT. Clippers going to lay 6.5. Total sits here at 230.
Yeah, both of these teams went into the All-Star break on losing streaks. The Clippers were on a 3-game straight up and against a spread losing streak, as were the Warriors. But if you want to draw a distinction between the characteristics of the two teams' streaks, at least Los Angeles's losses were close. Golden State lost 2 of their 3 games by more than 20 points. So I don't think that bodes well for Golden State in this situation. And there are a couple of factors here that favor the home team, Los Angeles. One is that Los Angeles was upset in its last game by the Washington Wizards. And the second factor is that Los Angeles was upset the last time that these two teams met up in San Francisco when Golden State won that game by 10 points over the Clippers. And one of the things I like to do, Tony, is when I can get a team off an upset loss in its previous game, as the Clippers just were, and they're playing with revenge against a division opponent, and also they're favored by 6 or more points. Those teams have cashed 69% over the last 31 years in the NBA. So that is one reason I really like Los Angeles tonight. Another is that the Clippers, over the last couple of years, have really bounced back off of losses, notwithstanding, of course, the fact they're on a 3-game losing streak, but they're still 40-18 ATS off a loss. And then finally, the Clippers are 69-36 ATS when they're favored by 6 or more points against an opponent that beat it by 6 or more in the previous meeting. So I think it all adds up for a blowout tonight at Staples Center.
All right, Al McMordie here with the LA Clippers now at 6.5 against the Golden State Warriors. And looking at this Warriors side, yeah, they've had struggles here on the road here, and not covering against the Lakers, Portland, Phoenix as they hit the break. Of course, one thing with this Clippers team is you want to see how you get that defensive effort. It's got to get better here in the second half, and maybe this is the time to get started.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is winning time, for the Clippers. I think the first half of the season, you see a lot of their, star players are held out on back-to-backs, and that might continue in the second half as well. But I think they know that they've got to put it together if they're going to make a run at the Lakers, this year.
No doubt about that. All right, Al, let's take a look over at Pig Dogs Premium, where you sit number 1 at the site. Over 3,300 units of profit. Big card here from the NBA as well as college basketball. What you got going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Well, we had a nice day yesterday going 4-1. We're 24-13 our last 37. We're 209-147 our last 356. Today we've got a 3-game college basketball package which tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern, so don't miss that if you want to triple your pleasure on this Thursday. And then we also have our Big Sky Conference Tournament game of the year, and then we wrap it all up with a play on the ice. We're 26-15 this season in NHL action. So a lot of good stuff from us today, and then we'll be back right at it early tomorrow on Friday.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Al McMordie over at Pig Dogs Premium. You see the numbers here, over 3,300 units of profit. Number 1 documented at the site. Winning in every sport right now. You can see the numbers there. It's transparent. You can just check his profile page. Every play there is documented. He's got his one-day pass tonight. Lots of action for you. Take those winnings from tonight. Upgraded that long-term pass, that 30-day all-sports pass, a really good value right now. Every play that Al releases over at Pig Dogs Premium will be yours when you get that 30-day all-sports pass. Take you into college basketball, NHL, NBA, and of course the start of the baseball season starts at the beginning of the month. So good time to get on board here as we are working here.
Hopefully our Dodgers can go back-to-back, Tony.
I hope so. I'm rooting for LA again this year, and they got a shot.
Padres, Well, last year I gave out LA at 4-1 odds to win the World Series, but this year I went with the Minnesota Twins at 22-1. So I guess I have to adopt Minnesota as my hometown team this year.
Yeah, well, the NL, LA will get through. We'll see what the Padres do. They always make a lot of noise. You know what it is, right? They make noise, and somehow they just can't seem to get over the hump.
Oh, they're good. I mean, look, I think the two best teams are the Padres and the Dodgers, but I think it's going to be a great year, between those two teams. But I had to take a shot with a long shot, so I went with the Twins.
Well, great. Great to get back to the ballpark. Hopefully this summer things will clear up and get a nice seat up at Dodger Stadium. Great place to watch a ball game.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, Al McMordie here on the drive-through, and we'll continue here with the show. As you can see there, the numbers from Al doing fantastic work here at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, let's continue on here. And we just want to remind you guys, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We got free picks every single day, and it all gets started with the morning show at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You got Mitch, Zawacki. Yeah, you got Brian Bittler. They get it started here. And, of course, you want to tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time because we've got a lot of college basketball games to go over. A lot of lines will be coming up in the wee hours of the morning, so you want to get caught up with the Friday action because there will be a lot of it. So check us out to start the morning. Of course, we got those 2 YouTube Premium shows, and there you can get information about the YouTube Premium packages right below in the description. And, of course, we're here Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time with the drive-through, giving you the picks for the primetime games. All right, let's continue on here. Oh, just want to make one note is be sure to give us those likes, those thumbs up. Keep them coming. It helps us grow our audience. All right, now it's time to welcome to the show Tony Brown. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. He makes an occasional appearance on that morning show. Get you up and early once in a while, Tony, when you do that morning show, right?
Right. It's 7 o'clock on the West Coast over here, but I think I'm going to get up. I love that show. Mitch and them, they have a really good show, and we reach a lot of people.
Yeah, I used to say, 7 a.m. is early, but, Mitch gets up at 3 a.m., sometimes earlier.
Right, 4 in Hawaii, so he always gives me a hard time about that. But, I mean, it's not much going on in Hawaii. Vegas, I'm just getting in bed around 7.
That's right. Tony Brown out in the sportsbook. We get him one time we get him on location in those casinos. All right, Tony Brown, you've been looking at this late-night game between the Sacramento Kings and the Houston Rockets, 10 p.m. Eastern time. This one will be on NBA League Pass channel. And we see the Sacramento Kings here are favored by 4.5. Total sits here at 232.
Yeah, this is amazing that I'm even going to say this. I can't believe it because it's pro sports. Like, every pro athlete, you know what I mean? They're better than the guy sitting on the couch. But in this case, I'm not so sure. The Rockets are 0-13. Like, streaks usually stop at 5, 6, 7 games. They're 0-13 in their last 13 games. Not to mention 0-13 against the spread. So not only are they losing, they're not covering. Like, the books have had it perfect with these guys. And it's no surprise when you lose James Harden, Russell Westbrook, they lost all those people. Then they get a version of John Wall, not really the all-star John Wall. And then they're the walking wounded. Exum, Gordon, they're questionable, but leaning more towards the, you know what I mean, not going to play side. And then the young star Christian Wood is out. Like, they're beat up. They don't have any more stars. They're on a 13-game losing streak. Games aren't played on paper, but some stats are just too big to ignore. I think the Kings are going to make it 14-0 for those guys, 0-14, and win and get a cover at home.
All right, Tony Brown here on Sacramento Kings, laying the 4.5 against the Houston Rockets. All right, Luke Walton's on life support. We know that. I'm just going to give you the counter here with the looking at the Kings side. Their issue's been defense. Remember when no LeBron, no Davis, what the Lakers did? They got within 3, scored 120 on Sacramento. So obviously this Rockets team is a mess. At least the Lakers have some structure here. So you're really confident here with that 4.5 against this Rockets team, even though Sacramento does have a lot of warts on their defensive side.
Yeah, even with no LeBron and no Davis, we still got Schroeder. He's like he's a top-level point guard. That guy's not bad. We still got Montrezl Harrell. He was a starter on the Clippers. He just, he took a lesser role for us. But we still have some really decent players, and they still won. Houston, like I said, even the decent players that they had are questionable and leaning more towards out. So even if they play, it's just going to take more than an all-star break to fix what's going on in Houston. And, the best shot that they had, their young star Wood, he's out for sure. It's not even a question. So they're just too banged up. That's why they lost 13 straight. It's not a formula. It's not like, they had a bad game or if they step the shooting up or if they do this. Like, they don't have enough bodies. They don't have the depth. They don't have the talent. And this is what happens in the NBA. There's a 13-game losing streak. Even though they're trying, they just can't win. And they can't cover. That's the most important part. Like, I wouldn't care if they went 0-20, but they cover, 15, 16 games, we'll be talking a different thing. Not only are they not winning, they're not covering. And in this industry, we play to make money. We play to cover. So a 13-game streak, let's ride that one all the way to the bank.
Yeah, when you look at Houston's numbers, there are a lot of open shots you're missing. When you shoot that poorly, you're not guarded every shot. Even though the Kings aren't the greatest defensive team, you're just not making shots. And again, that's what's going on here. And of course, you got a situation here where the Kings can probably just come in here and outscore the Rockets. That's how you see this one. Sacramento Kings.
And when you have I'm sorry, Tom, go ahead. I just meant when you have a bad team like the Kings, because the Kings aren't great either by no stretch of the imagination. But this is how the teams like the Kings end up with 15 and 16 wins by beating the worst teams, the Minnesotas, the Houstons, and things of that nature. So I think this is if you're ever going to have a spot to take the Kings, this is it.
Yeah, they have the offense to outscore somebody that can't shoot.
Buddy Hield is like amazing, and De'Aaron Fox, when they get it together, they're not a bad team at all. And like you said, no defense. The Nets don't play defense, so they just try to outscore people, and they'll be able to outscore Houston.
Outscore.
I'm pretty confident.
A team that just can't shoot the basketball, just playing horribly. All right, Tony Brown, let's take a look over at Pig Dogs Premium, where you're sitting at 777. the past 30 days. And the positive there, why don't you go hit one of those slot machines right now in Vegas?
I was just about to say, man, that's a 777. That's only in Vegas, right? But it's still positive money, man. That's 777 units in the past 30 days. My package is only a couple $100 for 30 days. So anybody who bought the 30-day package, they're up a bunch of units. And actually for me, 777 is down a little bit. I've had a down weekend. I've had a down past couple days. But even in my down times, we're up almost 1,000 units. So when things get back hot, we're going to be back to the 2,000 mark, back to the top of the leaderboard like when things began.
That's right, guys. Check out Tony Brown over at Pig Dogs Premium. You get his pass for tonight. And of course, I would always recommend that long-term pass with those winnings. Moneyline Tony Brown, as you see that shirt right there. I like that look there from Tony Brown.
Yes,
get
sir.
on board with that one-day pass and then make the upgrade to the long-term. He's got March Madness passes right now available on the website on his profile page. The long-term passes you see there, 3, 7, and 30-day all sports pass. Every play from Tony Brown. For the period you choose. Remember that 30-day all sports pass will include baseball because, heck, baseball starts top at the beginning of the month. We're not too far away. They're playing spring training as we speak. So get on board
Right
here with
now.
Tony Brown. That's right. You know?
Yeah. As we speak, do this show, there's games on now, and my packages are all inclusive. You get every pick from every sport. There's no, dibble-dabbing. Every play I release, playoffs, championships, they're all included. So go grab that pass and let's make some money together.
Yeah, make some money here with Tony Brown over at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, Tony, it's always great having your show. Have yourself a great night. Continue that success. Let's get those units continue on that positive side, and we'll talk with you next week.
Yep, always glad to be here, Tone, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right, Tony Brown here on the drive-thru. All right, we'll continue our coverage. Before that, just a reminder, guys, keep those likes, those thumbs up coming up. Help us grow our audience. We greatly appreciate that. All right, let's continue on here and welcome Rod Zawacki to the drive-thru. You find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. He's on every day on the morning show with Mitch and Brian Bittler. And, of course, he's part of that YouTube premium package as well that we've talked about. Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. Rod, how you doing?
Doing good, Tony. Doing good. Another good day. It's still sunny here. Everything's still melting. Snow's almost all gone. Nice.
Nice. Snow melting out there. And, of course, we're getting close and close to the spring. And you're going to be looking at this Big East game on Fox 1, 9 Eastern time with UCONN. A lot of people high on this UCONN Huskies team. They got a really superstar on their lineup here. Going to lay 12.5 against DePaul that pulled off a win yesterday. Total sits here at 133.5.
Yeah, you look at that DePaul game yesterday. That was probably the biggest upset of the week so far. But you dig in and you look at these two teams that played twice already. And you've got UConn who beat them the first game by 19. They beat them in the second game in the rematch by 7. That was 7 points on the road. But you look at DePaul. DePaul, their offense is definitely not the greatest. They've scored 60 or fewer points in 5 of the last 7 games. And then you look, those numbers equate to that, and they're going against this UConn defense, who's ranked 52nd in the nation. A solid defense here with UConn holding teams down. And then you look at the other side of the ball. We got the solid offense of UConn going against DePaul's 206th ranked defense, they're only holding teams to 71 points. So I can easily see the making of the points here. You look at the Huskies, they're 4-0-1 their last 5 following a straight-up win. They're 6-0-1 ATS their last 7 games. They're 5-0 perfect ATS their last 5 times as a favorite. They're 4-0 ATS on neutral site their last 4 games. And you look at their record, 9-1-1 the last 11 versus a team with a winning record, a record of below 400%. And then the thing that just kicked it off even more for me is DePaul at night. They're only 5-7 this year on night games, as the Huskies are 9-1 on night games this season. This got blowout written all over it. I'm going to take UConn, lay the points. I think they got a blowout here. We got 15-16 point win here.
Yeah, speaking of blowouts, that's what UConn's done to their past 4 opponents. Past 4 wins by double digits, including 2 double-digit wins against Georgetown, another win there against Seton Hall, and they've covered all 4 of those blowout wins. And, of course, you get into blowouts against Xavier and Villanova, so that's 6 covers over their past 7 games. And, of course, when you look at DePaul, it's been pretty much a lot of sorry basketball, a lot of sorry results there, a lot of double-digit losses, getting blown out by Creighton. They've been blown out by Providence. And even Butler got it by double digits. So there's a
got down by double digits.
Yeah.
And then they're just so good. They played a good game and they got Providence the last game. And then they just don't bounce back. They don't string wins together. Let's put it that way. Only 1-5 ATS. Their last 6 off was straight up wins. So I love this. Take UConn minus the 12. Blows them out double digits. I think they win by 20.
Laying the 12.5. You have here a big win here for UConn today. Of course, this one to tip off 9 Eastern time on that Fox Sports 1 channel. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pig Dogs Premium where you're posting plays. And we've got a nice card tonight from college hoops and, of course, the NBA. What you got going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
I had a couple go off already, but we still got games left. I've got 2 college basketball, 1 10-star NBA layup for tonight. You can grab those 3 plays over at Pig Dogs Premium. Or I still got my college hoops package. You can get that for $250. That'll get you every play I release in college hoops from now until the final net cutting. And I got a nice 58 and 42 we are in the last 30 days on college hoops. Nice run heading into the big dance. Don't miss out. Jump aboard.
Jump aboard here with Zawacki over at Pig Dogs Premium. You see the numbers that are all documented. You look at his college basketball results. So a good time to get on board with his one-day pass. A lot of action tonight. Of course, make that upgrade to the long-term pass. March Madness packages. We've got that 3, 7, and 30 all-sports pass to choose from. So if you want to try them out for that one day, what I tell you is take those profits and make that upgrade to the long-term pass from Zawacki over at Pig Dogs Premium. And Rod, of course, when you let everybody know, you're part of that YouTube Premium purchase package out there right now. Of course, it's the early and late edition.
Yeah, don't miss out on that. We had a great day yesterday. We went 6-2 on the YouTube Premiums. That's including the day and the night one. If you jump on board the day one for $30, or jump on both, that's your best deal for $50. Can't go wrong with that. You get 8 picks a day from me, Brian, and Mitch. And then we even throw in some consensus from all the other cappers as well. So can't go wrong with that. Jump aboard.
That's right. Jump aboard there with the YouTube Premium, the early and late edition. If you want to find out how to get those packages, just look in the description below. There's a link to it right there. All right, Rod, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great night. We'll tune in tomorrow morning here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Of course, we got to get those lines for those games because there'll be a lot of games without lines. It's great to tune in early, get the lines in and get some plays for him, especially a lot of early action tomorrow.
Lots of early action. Who doesn't love daytime, all day action? We love it. March Madness. Woo!
Absolutely.
Sacrifice sleep for it. We don't mind. It's only a month.
That's right. Only a month. We'll get through
I'm
this
used to it. I got work in December when we did that contest, right?
That's right.
Then, right? So I was already pre-trained and all ready to go for March Madness.
That's right. He's already trained. The reset button is in. Fresh batteries, ready to roll with Rod Zawacki. Just make sure the coffee's poured. Just make sure the coffee's poured and he'll be good.
You bet. It's on a timer, so it's ready to go when you get up. You just you hit the button, you wake up, and you can smell it already brewing when you get up.
That's a great smell. All right, Rod, have yourself a great night. Rod Zawacki here on the drive-thru. All right, we'll continue on with the coverage. Guys, reminder to give us that thumbs up, that like. Continue those coming in. We greatly appreciate it. Rob, we're going to keep you on for that last segment there, so if you can stand by. All right, we'll continue on with the coverage. We're going to go ahead and welcome Shane Mickel to the show. Shane, you'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium, so let's go ahead and get him in right now. Shane, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing tonight, Tony?
I'm doing great, feeling great, and you're going to the Pac-12 late night action. This is, by the way, is on ESPN, on big ESPN, so you're going to get a TV game here from Shane, as Cal will be facing Colorado at late night action tonight. We've got Colorado here laying 14 in this one, and I want to make sure I get you the correct start time. 11:30 Eastern time. That's not 1:30 p.m. Eastern. 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, so late night action. Colorado laying 14, a total 133.
Yeah, Cal looked really good last night in their game against Stanford. But I'm not even so much about that win that I was impressed with. The one thing that Cal's done is of late has been they're not really getting blown out. They've been pretty consistent, losing by right around 9 points a game. And then one of their last wins was also against this same Colorado team. Another big key for this Cal team is they got Matt Bradley back. He's their best player, scored 19 points last night. They didn't have him for much of the season. I don't think they'd be a top contender in the Pac-12 if they would have had him. But there's no doubt that they're a much better team with him in. I like him to have a big game, and I think Cal can keep this one close. I see them losing right about 8-9 points, and that's some wiggle room there with the plus 14.
All right, we got Shane Mickle here going to go with this Cal team at plus 14 against the Colorado Buffaloes. All right, Shane, just looking here at this number here with Cal. They did have struggles down the stretch, winning and covering, but you just think here that this the start of the tournament here, just a new focus here for this Golden Bears team.
Yeah, I think that helps. But like I said, it didn't really matter who they played. They were competitive against Oregon. They lost by a few to Oregon State. I think Matt Bradley getting back in this team is going to be a big difference, and I think they keep it close.
Yeah, and Cal did beat Colorado at home just about a month ago, 71-62. Both teams shooting 40%, but man, Colorado could make it just 3 of 15 from beyond the arc. They struggled with the free throw line, and Cal actually out-rebounded Colorado in that game. So the play here with Cal here at plus 14, 11:30 Eastern time. This one you could watch over on ESPN. All right, Shane, let's take a look over at Pig Dogs Premium, where you're doing fantastic work. Nearly over 1,900 units of profit past 30 days. That is all documented. You can go to the site. You can check the numbers there. Everything is transparent there at Pig Dogs Premium. All the plays there he's released. What you got going on over the site?
I got 2 different packages tonight, 5-pack, 3 college basketball, 2 NBA, and then I also have a late night for that Cal game. I've got a winner on the total. Hop on one of those or get one of the long-term packages. My NBA pass is still on sale, $349.95. The NBA is won last night in the NBA, and that's getting back in the swing of things. So hop on the long-term and let's make some money.
That's right. Get on board here with Shane Mickle over at Pig Dogs Premium. You see the numbers, over 1,900 units of profit past 30 days. That is all documented. So get on board with those passes tonight. Of course, that long-term pass is the way to go. March Madness pass is also available from Shane Mickle over at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, Shane, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great night, and we will talk with you next week.
All right, have a good one, Tony.
All right, Shane Mickle here on the drive-thru. Guys, just a reminder, if you happen to tune in late, we will recap every play on the show, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, don't forget those thumbs up, those likes. Keep them coming in. We greatly appreciate it. All right, now it's time to bring in, let's see, we got Damian Sosh up next. We're going to look at some NBA from Damian. You can find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. Does fine work in the NBA. Damian, how you doing?
Hey, Tony, doing good. Good to be here.
I know there have been better days for your Irish, but we'll see what happens on Selection Sunday.
Yesterday wasn't a good day. They're not making a tournament, that's for sure.
No, not at all. All right, you're looking here at NBA. Bulls, the host of 76ers, Chicago laying 3.5. Total sits here at 227.5.
Yeah, the Bulls, they're just 7-11 at home this year. They're going to be facing the Sixers. They're one of the best teams in the East, one of the best teams in all of basketball, really. But looking at the Sixers, they've been brutal on the road the last couple seasons. They're just 8-9 this season, which is better than they have been previous seasons. But the big thing going into this game, the Sixers going to be without All-Stars Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons due to COVID contact tracing. Sixers are just 1-5 this year without Embiid. They're just 2-3 without Simmons. Back on January 9th, both those guys were out of the lineup, and the Sixers lost the game at home where they dominated at home. They lost to the Nuggets by 12 points. The Sixers, they do have good spot-up shooters on their roster, but without the Chicago defense having to collapse on Embiid, they don't have to worry about Simmons driving and kicking. It's going to be tough for those guys to get open looks. Guys like Danny Green and Seth Curry, they're good spot-up shooters, but they're not known to get their own shot off the dribble. And the Sixers are going to miss these guys, their presence on defense. And Embiid's definitely a guy that can alter some shots. Dwight Howard, his backup, he's serviceable, but he's 35 years old. You got to wonder how much run he's going to get because the Sixers do play again tomorrow night. And Simmons is one of the elite defenders in the league who's going to carry who would have covered Zach LaVine. Now without him in the lineup, LaVine averages 29 points per game. I could see him going off. I like the Bulls laying the points in this spot.
All right, we got Damon Sos here going to go ahead and lay the 3.5 with the Chicago Bulls. And one thing to note here with the 76ers team, when you take 2 starters out, then you really thin out that bench for the 76ers. And the bench, I don't think they're good enough off that bench here. And they got to address that, I think, come the All-Star, come the trade deadline.
Yeah, they definitely need to add something there. Maybe another backup point guard, another point guard of something that somebody to take the pressure off of Simmons bringing the ball up. They definitely need more there. I mean, they're a good team, but yeah, when they get into that bench, it's going to be tough sledding, especially come playoff time.
Yeah, we know the Bulls here, a really good shooting team. They play at a fast pace. They do it a little high. Their defense can be so-so here as we see some of their numbers here at home, allowing 48%. That's kind of a ward on this team. But you believe here the Sixers probably won't be able to keep up with the scoring if Chicago can dictate pace here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, Chicago, for as bad as their defense is, they actually guard the perimeter fairly well. I think they're about fifth guarding the three-point line. Teams shoot about 35% against them, I believe, from the three-point line, which is good for fifth defensively in the NBA. So they do guard the perimeter well, and without those, like I said, without Simmons driving, without having to collapse on Embiid, I think they have it this time.
They have it there without that inside presence there with Chicago. Be a little weak, a little thin there down low, but it won't be an impact here without Embiid and Simmons. No question about that. All right, the play here, Bulls laying the 3.5 against the 76ers. All right, big night. Hoops, hockey, college, and NBA. We're seeing you in the NBA. 430 units of profit on the plus side here this season. What you got going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, you got tons of action out there tonight. I still have a NCAA 3-pack available and an NBA 3-pack available. So jump on board one of those packages. And the NBA, doing very well. You know, we did drop one last night, but we're going to get that back tonight. No doubt about it. I recently reduced my NBA season pass to $299.95. That'll take you through the NBA Finals. Over the last 30 days in the NBA, I'm plus 765 units. So, definitely do yourself a favor, pick yourself up a plan. It's a great time right now. We got sports starting as soon as you get up till the time you go to bed.
That's right. Get on board here with Damon Sosh over at Pig Dogs Premium. Lots of action, wall-to-wall college hoops right now. Of course, don't forget the NBA. He's got passes tonight from both, so get on board with those. And, of course, you get the winnings and make that upgrade to the long-term passes. He's reduced his NBA season pass. He's got March Madness passes up there. Or if you want the All-Sports pass, that 30-day All-Sports pass at great value. Every play from Damian, NBA, college hoops, NHL. Of course, Major League Baseball starts right at the beginning of April. So get on board now with Damon Sos over at Pick Dogs Premium. All right, Damon, it's always great having you on the show. Have yourself a great night. Continue that success, and we will talk again with you next week.
Thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
All right, Damon Sos here on the drive-thru. Guys, keep those thumbs up, those likes coming in. We greatly appreciate that. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. We got Mitch coming on right now. He's going to be looking at a game from the Big 12 tournament. Let's wire him in right now to the show. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium as well as the morning show at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every single day. Mitch, how's it going?
It's going. I got to say, I feel like I've run a couple marathons. I am just absolutely exhausted. Those who subscribe to our YouTube channel know that those 7 games that didn't have lines out last night, somehow we miraculously got videos out, even though I got a 5-hour time difference from the East Coast. So that means I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning doing videos today. But so be it, man. It's March Madness, and I love March Madness. So, we only get to do it once, and last year we didn't get to do it at all. So I'm going to enjoy every minute of it this year.
Yeah, absolutely enjoy every minute of it. It's just with the NBA coming off the All-Star break, you wouldn't expect 8 games without lines.
Yeah, well, the thing is that there were some early lines on the games, but they just didn't have the totals. So I did the videos with the early lines with no totals on those, and that's generally what I will do, on a first look. And then that's why we have the morning show. That's why we have the drive-through. We can always update our pick, and sometimes on the morning show, and I'm not saying all the time, but there might be a game here or there where there might be some news that changes the game, and that's why we have the early premium show and we have the late premium show. Why we have the early show, and that was always the idea of the concept of the drive-through when you and I sat down and talked about it, was that it was going to be late information, that could affect the game. Embiid and Simmons definitely not playing, right? We just heard that from Damian.
Absolutely. All right, Mitch, we're going to look at one game here tonight. Big 12 tournament here on ESPN2, 9:30 Eastern Time. It has Texas playing Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the 1-point favorite, total 134.
I love March Madness, man. Look at this. Look at this thing. Texas versus Texas Tech. 2 ranked teams in the Big 12. Neither of them number 1 seed in this thing. This is how good this year's March Madness is. Texas Tech swept the season series against Texas, but we know one thing, right? If you know nothing about March Madness, if you know 0 about college basketball, kind of like how I am with the hockey guys on the show, right? In the morning I joke around, just take all the underdogs, right, in hockey. Never bet against Shaka Smart in March, okay? You start there, and then you kind of can peel the onion. Like, when I handicap my games, if I'm getting points, it's always good. I'm winning, right? And it's like, at the beginning of the, when I first look at it. But with this, you start with Shaka Smart, you're good. And that's basically a strategy that I've played for many, many years, even with his bad teams a few years ago, where the buyout saved his job at Texas. He still was covering games in March. And he's the type of coach that goes out with an outright loss that's still a cover. So you look at Shaka Smart, you even look at his record this March, right? And you could look at it and you could see, he's played 3 games in March and he's covered in all 3. Gee, miracle, right? And they weren't against Oklahoma, a rivalry game, 2-point dog. They won outright by 4 points, covering against TCU, blowing them out in Iowa State. So really not much there, but still. There's certain guys that just are meant to coach at certain times a year, and Shaka Smart has proved over the years, no matter where he is, that he's one of those guys. I know Texas Tech was in the last final that we saw, but I haven't seen them really hold up against the better teams. I know they beat Texas twice, and including a game on February 27th, 68-59. I think the game was closer than that. But, we saw them against Baylor. Beating the same team 3 times in a year, extremely tough, especially if it's a good team. It's not like in the Big 12 that everybody's just running over each other and there's 3 or 4 good teams at the top. It's been everybody beating up on each other, and I think that's what we see here. I just think Texas, even if they don't win, I could see the point and a half factoring as well. So no reason to take the money line here. There's no value in it. So right. just take the points with Texas. Take as much as you can get, and ride the Hornets. I think they win it, but like I said, even if they don't, I could see it being with a points factor.
All right, points factor here with the Texas plus the 1. Mitch, any concern here how Texas Tech has been shooting the basketball? We know they just couldn't shoot. And they were having issues. We saw them get crushed at Houston. That was a game that really got my attention, how poorly they looked against the Houston Cougars. But then a little recently, they shot the ball a little better. But then again, you look at the competition. Yeah, we've seen the Baylor on the schedule. We've seen Texas, Oklahoma State, but TCU and Iowa State in there. Some big wins there, maybe skewing the numbers a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Texas Tech is not an offense-first team, and they're not going to be. Once again, a really good head coach that we could probably see in the NBA at some point, right? I mean, these are not slouch coaches and slouch teams. These guys, Texas Tech, you can shoot poorly if you allow 63.3 points per game. One of the announcers today made one of the best comments that I've heard an announcer make in a while. And I think, Len Elmore's done an amazing job on the Big Ten Network. But I think that the best comment I heard is that you could be a bad shooting team and control the tempo by scoring, and that's what Wyoming did today. They controlled the tempo of that game against San Diego State because they hit shots. It's like if you hit shots, everything else kind of goes out the window. And I think, with Texas Tech, what they've always done is when they really need to hit the shots, they hit the shots. And we saw that the last time they made the tournament run. These are 2 good tournament coaches and 2 good tournament teams. I just think we got a great game here, but it's like I think Texas is the better team here. I do not go against Shaka Smart in March. It is a bad idea. Even 2 years ago, when the last March Madness that we really had, he went out. He had won a game as a dog, and then he went out with a loss, but it was a cover. So it's just vintage Shaka Smart. That's what he does. 2 years ago at Texas, they were talking about firing him because his performance was subpar, which it was, and he would deserve to be fired. But, as Tony and I just used to discuss on our podcast on a regular basis, we used to, a school like Texas is a state school. So I know most people don't do this, but this is how ridiculous Tony and I can get. We Google these guys' contracts because they're public information if they're coaching at a state school. And we used to pull like Brett Bielema's contract to see exactly what they were up against if they wanted to fire this guy. So Shaka, 2 years ago when I Googled it and I figured what it was going to be to get him out, because we knew he was guaranteed, a guy like that is guaranteed money. It was 15.8. So I think that 15.8 buyout saved his job, and then it actually saved the Texas program at this point. So this is the best we've seen Shaka at Texas, and I think that this might be his year. I don't know if he goes all the way, but I think there's so many teams this year that, a few weeks ago, I got berated on the morning show, and that, by our audience, that happens, right? Because I was saying Michigan was soft when other people were saying these guys are going to win the national championship or be in the Final Four. And I said, here's an athletic program that has never, achieved. So how can you be putting them in the Final Four when these things have to be won on the court, right? Like, I could put Gonzaga in the Final Four because we know they've done it, But Michigan, they've done it, but it's like this team, more often than not, is a school that lets people down. And they've looked a little soft, but we'll see how they look in tournament action because they've been dynamite. We've won a ton of money on Michigan this year. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Going even opponents to home court. Although it's a little different this year with COVID going on the road and winning, so we'll have to see how that plays out next season. All right, Mitch here, Texas +1 against Texas Tech. ESPN2 will televise this game for you at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, Mitch. Good lineup tonight over at Pig Dogs Premium with action, college basketball and NBA. What you have going on over the site?
I have college basketball, but what I really want to talk about is the YouTube Premium package. And I just think that, for me, this is something that I didn't originally want to do because I thought it would take away from sales and would compete with, what some of the other cappers done. But I think what it's actually done, it's kind of brought me back to my roots when we first started, sportschatplace.com, and I had my first premium area, which was a membership site like this one with a monthly membership and auto renewal. And my first monthly membership was $28.99 a month. It was 15 years ago, but it was $28.99 a month. And the nice thing about having the lower price point, you might not get our top plays every day. You're going to get some of those in there, but you're going to get premium picks, and the $5 better and the $5 better all can benefit off of it, and it's like the guy who's betting $5, if he wants to buy other premium picks, well, that's obviously in his budget. It makes sense there. The guy betting $5, I'm not going to tell him to spend $50 on a pick. It doesn't make any sense, right? But here's something that they can get. It's a premium product, and they're winning with it, which is the best part, right? So I'm excited about the premium. I don't know where it's going. It's one of those things that's kind of a work in progress, and it's kind of, it's March Madness for us too. Tony will tell you, it's not, having games with no lines and that are scheduled, 6 hours before they're actually played doesn't make it easy for us. So, but I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, absolutely enjoying the ride. And thank goodness we have March Madness, right? It was a different situation exactly a year ago.
Yeah, and I think that what I'm hoping is that, we get to a point where it's like, next year there'll be fans in the stands. We'll be doing these shows from Vegas, with all the guys there, and watching March Madness in Vegas together with all of you guys. And I think that's really, for me, is the end goal here. And I think that is where we're heading. And we talked about this on the live show that, I could see a year from now, all these masks and everything, these custom masks that people bought, they're all going to be stuck at the bottom of their sock drawer, and they're going to eventually be that thing that people eventually, it's like cleaning everything out, you throw it out. And it's like, oh, man, remember that? And it's going to be like, remember when? And then it's like the young kids, oh, I don't remember. Oh, you're too young to remember. It's like, right? It becomes one of those things, and it's like, we experienced it, we lived it, and I think, I wouldn't want to do it again, but I think we're stronger for it, and I think that there's going to be some really good things that come out of this. I mean, look at the quality of these broadcasts compared to what they used to be, right? And compared to what some of the other sites are doing. All of our guys have like a little camera and microphone set, right? It's all nice, and it's like, our audience can hear it. They're not like, man, this guy sounds terrible or whatever. So I'm excited about it, and I just think that, it's great to have March Madness. It's like I missed it a lot last year. And it's interesting because I compare my analytics and stats to last year's stuff, and I know tomorrow there's going to be a line that goes straight down for last year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, Mitch, it's always great having your show. Have a great night, and we'll tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every day with your morning show.
Yeah, be sure to check out all the cappers, at our site. And I want to thank all the cappers that come on this show. It's nice having a show that a part of our company that I don't have to be on, and I don't have to worry about it because our cappers are all spot on. They all come prepared, ready to go, ready for action, and they're excited about being on the show. I think Tony has a waiting list to get on the show now. So it's like, it's really exciting. And I think that, audience members, I see a lot of comments, where's this person and where's that person and where's that person? I would be more like, man, we got Al McMordie tonight. I'm stoked, because I'm stoked. It's like, be thankful for who you have, man. I mean, look at it's not like who's not on tonight. Like Ron Romanelli, he can't be on every night. And there's scheduling conflicts, and that's a lot of part of the problem. And yeah, Chris is coming back, right? He's not going to be here every night, but he's going to be back on the show. And, Ann is on the show and Rod's on the show and, everybody's on. It's just what it is that, it's logistics and scheduling and all that stuff. So instead of wondering where this person is and why this person isn't on and the sad face, right? It's like, look at what you're getting, man. Look at what you're getting. It's like, celebrate what you got, not what you don't. Not worrying about what you don't, because, I think we bring it every day on this show, the morning show, and everything that we do, including those videos, which, like I said, I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to hammer home those last 7. I think they're all winners so far, too.
Oh, very good, very good. All right, Mitch, have yourself a great night. We'll keep an eye out for those videos tonight in the wee early bars of the morning and catch that morning show.
Let's make it a winning day.
Absolutely. Mitch here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue on here. Guys, it's time for yours truly to step up with my play. Let's take a look at the game I'll be looking at. We're going over to the Metro Atlantic Conference here. The tournament between Marist, the game between Marist and Niagara, 7:30 Eastern Time, ESPN. Plus, we'll televise this one with Niagara laying the 1. But my pick in this one is going to be on the Red Foxes here of Marist plus the 1. Marist, they've won 5 of their past 7 as they enter the tournament. Their defensive form, really good. Look at their past 5 games, holding teams at 34%, shooting 26% from 3. And Niagara, not as good defending at this point, 46% in that span. The Red Foxes have shown the ability to shoot well against the weaker defenses in the Metro Atlantic Conference, and Niagara is one of them. Niagara, they've lost 5 of 8 and hit the court for the first time in 17 days. Purple Eagles have been weak in conference on the offensive glass and shooting around the bucket. Near the bottom in defensive efficiency, as they're weak defenders in the paint and from 3. The Red Foxes, strongest team in the Metro Atlantic, it's scoring inside. And really, in addition to their really good defensive play, they're getting those inside scoring. So the play here will be Marist at plus the 1. All right, guys, check me out over at Pick Dogs Premium. I got a 3-pack going on top of the hour. Of course, I also have those long-term passes, those 3, 7, and 30 all sports passes, so check those out. All right, now it's time to go ahead and recap the plays from today's show. Rod Zawacki will join me on this segment. We got to start here with Alex Smart. It says take the Thunder plus the points against the Mavericks. Al McMordie, Clippers laying 6.5 against the Warriors. Tony Brown, the Kings, Sacramento laying 4.5 against the Rockets. Rod Zawacki, UConn minus 12.5 against DePaul. Shane was on Cal plus 14 against Colorado. Damian Sosh, Bulls minus 3.5 against 76ers. Mitch, Texas plus 1 against Texas Tech. Yours truly, Marist plus 1 against Niagara. Okay, Rod, other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
I like yours, Tony. I like Marist. I like the Red Wolves. Go Red Wolves.
All right, let's get them home tonight with Marist. I'm going to go here with Damian's with the Bulls 3.5 against the Sixers. I know Embiid, Simmons out, but one thing about the Sixers, they don't defend well on the road. I'm going to take the Bulls here, coming in hungry and hoping to get a playoff spot this year. They're actually in the running for it. Of course, hopefully when Marketing gets healthy, they can have their full players there. But I think they have enough here against the Sixers because the Sixers have a really thin bench, getting thinner now with 2 of their top scorers out of the lineup. All right, another addition in on the books here for the drive-thru. Tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We do this all over again. I have a full book here tomorrow. Again, 8 cappers on the show, giving out live free sports picks for the Friday primetime action. So tune in tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget, it all gets started in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time every day with a morning show. Mitch, Ron, and Brian Bittler. All right, let's bring in the group from tonight's show. Give a wave good night. Everyone have a great night, and we'll talk with you guys